How many times have we, as Leafs Nation, found ourselves on the precipice of a decision that could fundamentally alter the trajectory of our beloved team? How often have we debated the merits of potential, the allure of the unknown against the comfort of familiarity, even if that familiarity comes with its own set of frustrations? Because right now, deep in the swirling currents of the NHL's rumor mill, a name is emerging that could force the Toronto Maple Leafs to make precisely that kind of high-stakes gamble. Forget the usual suspects for a moment, because the whispers growing louder suggest a fascinating, almost poetic exchange. Nick Robertson out, and in his place, the powerful yet unproven sniper Arthur Kaliyev from the Los Angeles Kings. For years, we've watched Nick Robertson. We've seen the flashes of brilliance, the blistering shot, the relentless motor. We've cheered for his tenacity, and we've collectively winced at the string of injuries that have consistently derailed his momentum, preventing him from truly cementing a full-time role in Toronto. He's a player who has given us tantalizing glimpses of what he could be, a dynamic, offensive threat capable of changing a game. But the reality is, a consistent, impactful role has remained just out of reach. The conversations around him have been constant, a perpetual debate about his ceiling, his fit, and whether the Leafs can afford to wait any longer for that potential to fully materialize. He's become, in many ways, a symbol of unfulfilled promise within the organization, a talent knocking on the door but never quite finding the key. His trade value, while still present, is complex, tied directly to that very potential that has yet to consistently translate into NHL production. Now, imagine a scenario where that space, that roster spot, that opportunity is instead given to a different kind of enigma. Enter Arthur Kaliyev. At just 23 years old, Kaliyev is a name that might not be on every casual fan's radar, but for those who follow the deeper currents of prospect development and the NHL trade market, he's a player who screams potential. Drafted in the second round by the Kings in 2019, Kaliyev arrived with a reputation as one of the purest goal scorers in his draft class, possessing a shot that can only be described as devastating. He's got the kind of release that makes goalies flinch, a natural instinct for finding the back of the net. The problem? Much like Robertson, he hasn't quite found the consistent runway to truly explode in Los Angeles. He's shown flashes, absolutely, but the Kings, a team with a deep prospect pool and a more defensively structured system, haven't been able to fully unleash his offensive prowess. He's been a victim of circumstance, of a crowded lineup, and perhaps of a system that doesn't perfectly align with his offensive first instincts. This situation, a young, talented player with a clear, elite skill set who hasn't quite found his footing, is precisely the kind of scenario that often leads to the most impactful and sometimes most controversial trades in the league. So the question becomes, what if the Leafs see in Kaliyev what the Kings haven't been able to fully cultivate? What if they envision him as that pure sniper, that consistent 25-30 goal threat, who can inject a new level of offensive firepower into their top nine? Kaliyev's contract is controlled, making him an attractive asset for a team looking to manage its cap space while acquiring high upside talent. His age aligns perfectly with the core of the Leafs, and his specific skill set, that elite shot, is something every team covets. Imagine him on the power play, a legitimate threat from the circle, or even alongside a playmaking center who can feed him the puck in dangerous areas. The thought alone is enough to send a shiver of excitement down any Leafs fan's spine. He represents that tantalizing X factor, the feeling that if he's simply put in the right environment, given the right line mates, and afforded the ice time he needs, he could finally unleash the goal-scoring beast many believe he is. But let's be clear, this isn't a done deal, not by any stretch of the imagination. These are still just conversations, signals from the back channels, the kind of informed speculation that makes the NHL offseason so fascinating. The Leafs would be trading a known quantity, albeit one with a complex injury history and unfulfilled potential, for another player who also carries a significant what-if factor. It's a bet on raw talent, on a player who needs to be polished, who needs to find consistency in his overall game. It's a bet on the Leafs development staff, on their coaching, and on their ability to unlock what Los Angeles hasn't. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward proposition, the kind that can either elevate a team to new heights or leave them wondering what might have been. The market for young, skilled players who need a change of scenery is always active, and Kaliyev fits that mold perfectly. The Kings might be looking for a different piece, perhaps a more defensively responsible forward, or even a draft pick to replenish their system. The dance between general managers is intricate, a delicate balance of needs and assets. This potential move forces us to confront a fundamental question about the Leafs' philosophy. Are they willing to continue to gamble on unproven, but undeniably skilled young players? Are they ready to move on from a player like Robertson, who has been part of the organization's fabric for years, in favor of a new, equally intriguing project? It speaks to a continuous search for that elusive piece, that perfect fit, that spark that can ignite a championship run. It's a testament to the belief that sometimes a change of scenery is all a player needs to truly flourish. The excitement, the anxiety, the hope, it's all wrapped up in this one potential transaction. So, Leafs Nation, the ball is in our court, at least in the court of public opinion. This isn't just a trade, it's a statement. It's a declaration of intent, a belief in a different path forward. It's about taking a chance on a player who could be the sniper we've been craving, a player who could finally provide that consistent offensive punch. The potential is undeniable, the risk is inherent, and the debate is just beginning. Now I want to hear from you, the heart and soul of this fan base. What's your gut feeling on this? Would you, Higor, risk the departure of Nick Robertson, a player we've invested so much in, for a name like Arthur Kaliyev, a powerful shooter who comes with his own set of question marks? Is it truly worth betting on a young player who has shown flashes of brilliance but hasn't yet delivered on his full promise in the NHL? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation started, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're as intrigued by this potential move as I am.